Fasting is more than cleansing, losing weight, getting mental clarity. Those are important benefits, but in our last 4-day fasting, we have experienced something very sacred. And we want to share with you about it because it's something that's been missing in many information out there, either books or YouTube videos or whatever. And we feel very inspired about this point because it's so game-changing if we really paid attention to it.
Yes, so keep watching to find out why we fast.
This is the start of something new. This is the start of something magical. This is the start of something new. This is the start of something true.
Most of us humans, especially in the West, are constantly eating the wrong type of food way too often and in wrong combinations. Meaning that we are intaking foods such as high protein foods and complex carbohydrates and processed foods that produce acids and mucus in the body, and also we intake other toxins that the body needs to eliminate. And because we are eating foods that are hard to digest, we eat too much and we don't leave the body any room to process. First, I want to share about the amazing physical benefits of fasting. Many people have no idea that in the West especially, what we eat is not suitable for the human body. High protein foods, high amounts of fats and complex carbohydrates, processed foods, all of this creates a very acidic environment in the body, which in turn causes the body to produce a mucus. And also we have all these toxins in the body that need to be eliminated. So when we fast, we're basically giving our bodies the opportunity to take a break and to go into the elimination process.
And this is something usually neglected when we talk about nutrition. We always think what's the right thing to eat, but we rarely think how we eliminate the waste that's already in our body and that comes from the food that we intake.
We mostly hear about what are the right types of foods that we should be eating and what nutrition we should be getting. But actually in the West, our problem is not so much of not getting enough. The issue is more of getting too much of the wrong kind of food and not being able to eliminate it. We eat foods that are obstructing the flow of digestion and therefore the flow of energy in the body as well. So what fasting really does, it allows that process of elimination to take place and cleansing internally. Someone who eats a standard Western diet, including meat and white bread and processed foods, their digestion can take up to 80% of their energy. Imagine if only a portion of that could be liberated for other uses such as mental processes or creativity or even physical activity. So when we're fasting, we are liberating all of that energy for other uses, and then we can choose, do we want to use that liberated energy towards work and creativity, or do we want to use it to going inward to really start the elimination and healing process?
And it could be also a very spiritual experience to go inward, because most of the time when you don't have distraction with food, many things might come up, emotions, spiritual experience, different sensation when our stomach is empty, when our digestive system is resting. There is more energy for more juicy things that will come up.
And fasting has been used for thousands of years for spiritual purposes, for the purpose of enlightenment and awakening.
And this is how I start my fasting journey, learning from my spiritual teacher, Dada Krishna Sivananda. And since then I've been doing it off and on, sometimes 4 times a month. I did that for about 6 months, and I gained a lot of benefit and a lot of self-discipline and a lot of internal power that it felt like enriching my spiritual journey. And India, fasting is known everywhere almost, and they follow the moon cycle. Doing fasting, they call it like Ekadashi time. If you'd like me to share more about that and how to do it according to the system, please let me know, and I will make a new video about it.
I'm really curious to know, what was the reason why you got into fasting? What was like the perceived benefit of doing it according to your spiritual practice?
Mainly it focused on elevating our energy and moving to more a space of doing spiritual practice. Like in many spiritual practice, the goal of being human is to reach a higher state of enlightenment. And you can do that by focusing your conscious awareness to the divine or God or whatever you want to call it. And by fasting, you withdraw your sensation from the external material to focus more within. So we use this time we fast to meditate, to do yoga, to go more within. And when all this energy that was used to digest is going towards our internal work, our healing work, there's immense benefit of that. And I definitely can say from my experience, the meditation I do during fasting is way more powerful than other days.
Absolutely. I just want to add to that, you know, food is one of the biggest attachments that we have. And also all these external activities, social media nowadays, or distracting ourselves. So during fasting, we basically let go of those attachments.
You can
and it
call
can
it
be
social
tough.
media fasting.
Also that, but we let go of food, and which is one of our biggest attachments as human beings, because it's a matter of survival and emotional comfort. So it's really such a discipline to learn free will, you know, because we are taking control over a very primitive and instinctual function, eating, and we are choosing not to eat. And we are going against our natural instinct in that way, and desire and craving. And that trains the muscle of free will.
Yes.
And it gives you that sense of I'm in control over my life, over my whole physicality.
It feels so powerful, guys, like when you do this fasting and you woke up and the other day it's like, yes, I did it. It's so powerful. Yeah.
And it leaves so much space to go within, which for me was one of the biggest gifts of fasting, or has been in general, because that's for me the time when I'm really with myself. I don't distract myself with food or those, you know, like physical pleasure in that way. So it's really just being with myself, being with the emotions that arise that we're used to sedating by using food. The thing is, when we eat unhealthy foods that obstruct the physical processes within our bodies, we are also creating obstructions energetically, because the physical and the energetic, they go hand in hand. Our body is a manifestation of our spirit, which means that when we have physical obstructions, we are not able to let the chi, the life force energy, to flow through our bodies naturally and without effort. And we are not able to bring it to our full use, to embody the light that we are. So during fasting, we are not only liberating that energy, you know, to other uses, we are removing the physical blocks and the obstructions and the toxins that are blocking our natural energy flow. And when we clean the body physically, we are also making space for high vibrational energies to come through, and we can embody and channel our life force energy into action and inspiration, you know, to reach our highest potential in this life. And that is huge.
Yeah, this is why wise men said, as you think and eat, you become.
Right. So it's all about raising our vibration. Fasting will allow you to raise your vibration. And interestingly, it can function as a reset. After fasting, you can much more easily change your lifestyle and your diet. We found that it was so much easier to keep eating in a health promoting way, completely raw.
Kind of reset your stomach, you know, like it kind of feel like, oh, it's a new start. I want to try something new diet. Like, let's try to eat more on. Our friend also, who did the fasting with us, she was like, you know what? I don't feel like eating so much heavy food anymore, and she started to eat more raw. It's like,
yeah,
really
she has been eating fully raw since the fast, and she didn't used to eat raw vegan before.
Yeah.
And it's just coming naturally. Her body wants that, because now she's in touch with what is actually good for her, without all that, you know, parasitic infestation, which most of us have, by the way. Most of us carry parasites who are giving us a lot of cravings. And that's why it's so difficult to let go of the sugar and the white bread and all of that, because it's the parasites that are telling us, go,
so are you
eat some
saying that it's not us who desire cheese and bread, but it's the parasite?
It's a mixture of different things. Of course, it is us as well, but the parasites are definitely making it more difficult to switch.
Fasting actually can be like a little shamanic journey. Every time we fast, Miia and I get like a lot of downloads, a lot of inspiration, a lot of ideas to do in our life. And many times we get like answers for questions who've been like running in our head for a long time. So it gives us this break to be inspired, to be more like in the higher realms.
Oh my God, I felt so much clarity after this fasting. Not during the fasting, I must say, this time. Sometimes I do get clarity during fasting, but this time I went really directly into the whole internal purging process. So the clarity came afterwards. And interestingly enough, as a community, we have been going through this time of stagnation a bit, not finding direction, not finding alignment within the group. We all did the fasting together, and afterwards it was just like boom, group consciousness, clarity. Like we knew the direction we need to go to, and there was no fear, no doubt, no hesitation. It was really powerful. Like I know for myself that it was the fasting that did that for me. And also I was getting downloads. I was in the middle of my, awful symptoms, yet I was getting insights. And at night when I was supposed to be sleeping, I would be getting downloads, what I call them. It's like these surges of insights and things like, wow, that's how it works. Oh my God, I'm like seeing my life more clearly all of a sudden, or an inspiration to do something, to start a project. So it can really be a tool to come back into alignment, to center yourself so that you know the direction, and you can get kind of like a divine guidance or this inner wisdom that will show you the right direction. And you can start from a new place of confidence.
So if you feel inspired to fast, let us know, and we will share with you a video about how we did it and how we recommend you to do fasting. There's many videos out there, but we're gonna give you the summary and the most important thing that worked for us.
Yeah, and I want to emphasize that we haven't done really prolonged fasts. We've mostly done regular short fasts, meaning a couple of days max, and it's usually water fasting or dry fasting. So this is based on our experience, but we would love to share this information with you, what we have learned on our journey.
Yeah. In our last fasting, we had the thought that, we're gonna document every day how we feel, what we did, everything. But it felt such a precious time to go within, and we decided not to film it, but we will share with you the summary and what you can do to experience something similar to what we have done.
So this is one of the things I really want to emphasize, actually, because when you see videos on YouTube, most people they're documenting their fasting and talking about the symptoms and the hikes that they're going to and all of that. But for me, really, it felt like such a sacred experience that I wouldn't have wanted to interrupt it with such a portal of, sharing with the outside world what was happening in me. I really needed to make that decision to, actually, this is gonna be a time for myself. This is a retreat. I'm gonna retreat into myself and keep it for myself as in the sacred container.
Yeah, and it was so beautiful, like the way the women did it in the circle. They did like women's circle every morning.
Yeah, we were 4 women doing it together and supporting each other, meeting up for just sharing how we're doing. We did a few meditations together. We're gonna share with you a little bit more about our physical symptoms and everything in the next video, but I'm just gonna tell you that it was a lot for me, I believe because I chose to go inward and not spend that excess energy on external activities. I brought all the energy inward, so my body entered into a detox process really quite heavily from the day 2, 3, and 4. I went through a lot of detoxification, and that was powerful. I love it. And our detox specialist, I will link her website below, so if you are interested, I highly recommend this woman. She's very powerful. Priestess. So she told me it's good if you have symptoms, unless you have done a lot of fasting. If you're coming from a place of needing to cleanse your body, it's good to have symptoms, because it's a sign of vitality, that your body has the life force energy to enter into that intense process of purging. So celebrate it, celebrate the symptoms.
We have here a bank of information called Miia, and I really recommend you to go to her blog and read in details her experience of fasting. There's much more information than the video. The link in the description below. So you're excited about this topic and you like to try it. Here you go. Next video gonna be about fasting and how to do it. And if you have any question, let us know in the comment, and we will answer them in the next video.
We're gonna include how to know it's time to fast, how to prepare for a fast, what to expect during a fast, and how to break the fast.
subscribe if you haven't yet, and click the notification button. This is really important so you don't miss on the next one, guys.
And you can also start the cleansing process by changing your diet. We've made a really good video about raw veganism and how that has benefited our healing journey. So you can check that video out next.
Yeah, and see you there. Bye.
Bye-bye.